welcome to the Deerfield Public Library's Twitch channel. I'm Emily, and you are tuning in for Lunchtime Listens, Story Time for Adults. Today I wanted to do a theme on poetry because April is a lot of librarians' favorite month because it is Poetry Month, and so I've picked out quite a few good books to read today, but I'm going to start off with a very serious one. Okay, is that all right? I know normally I do like goofy things because I'm a kids librarian and all that, but I have a really serious one for us today. Are you ready for it? I don't know. We'll see if you can handle it, okay? It's called My Secret Karate. There's a type of karate I specialize in. I invented it all on my own. No one has witnessed my secret karate. It's meant to be practiced alone. I stand on my left foot and raise my right leg, using muscles in abs, thighs, and tush. And with just the toe of my special blue sneaker, I make the toilet flush. I toggle the lever or mash down the button or lean on the handle just so. That way my fingertip never gets yucky thanks to the skills of my toe. Courtesy's something my mom always taught me starting when I was a kid. So I used the toe of my special blue sneaker and I lowered the seat and the lid. My secret karate is practiced in private in public bathroom stalls. I don't mean to brag, but my balance is awesome. I never touch the walls. I don't have a name for my potty karate. I might call it Taekwondo. Or maybe I'll say I'm a third-degree black belt in the top secret art of Kung Fu. April Fools! That was My Secret Karate, about what you do to avoid touching the handle on the toilet. So this is a book called No More Poems by Rhett Miller, who is from a band, the Old 97s, and illustrated by Dan Santat, who's one of our favorites here at the library. So this is a collection of goofy poems that I will probably read one of in between everything I'm doing today. So that's about as mean as my April Fool's jokes go. I hope you enjoyed it. So to start off, I found this pretty new picture book biography. I've been doing a lot of picture book biographies in these because I think that there's a lot of really good stuff that can be conveyed in nonfiction and picture book form for anyone. So this is about the figure skater Surya Bonale. So it is, it's really awesome. It's called Fearless Heart, and let's get into it. It's going to be all about her story. Fearless Heart, the legacy of an Olympic figure skater. And it's told in verse. So it's got a bunch of poems. Her Dawn. December 15th, 1973. A beautiful baby girl named Claudine is born in Nice, France. Adopted 18 months later by a man and a woman, Suzanne and George Bonale, and Claudine became their son, their star, their Surya. Her dream. By 10 years old, Surya knew she wanted to spend her life on the ice, every day, all day. She knew she could be like her coach, a national champion. She loved the joy of her skates scratching the ice, the freedom of flying in the air and floating above the frozen white ice. She practiced all that she saw. One skate helped her jump higher. The other helped her glide gracefully, double axels, triple toe loops, and spins, again and again and again. She didn't always finish first, so she worked harder and harder, and soon Surya's young career became filled with first place. Her rise. European champion 5 straight times, and 13 more times, she was ranked number 1. Surya was named French champion 9 straight times. Around the globe, the hearts of children leaped with ice skating dreams, and they imagined themselves spinning and looping like fire, like the sun, in radiant gold, like Surya. Striking a pose, then taking off with tremendous speed, hurling into jumps, soaring through the air with power and pride and precision, jump after jump after jump, wanting to be the combo queen of the ice, wishing and working, stepping, gliding, running into original jumps, handsprings, and even backflips. In brilliant and bedazzled costumes, electric-colored eyeshadow, passion in her eyes, Surya was determined to be the first Surya, the only Surya there will ever be, there ever was. Her judges. They said, there are rules in figure skating, ways a skater is supposed to be, to move, to speak, to look. They said, she should look like everyone else, skate like everyone else. She would score high if she followed their rules, but Surya didn't follow, and her innovation was not allowed. The judges couldn't deny Surya her technical merit, but they never rewarded her artistry. They said, she has to work on her grace. She needs to stop jumping and learn to skate. There's raw talent, but she's not refined. But her fans knew what the critics wouldn't say out loud. The judges didn't want a black figure skater skating the way she wanted, and maybe they didn't want a black figure skater at all. The judges said, she's too muscular. She isn't elegant enough. They said her skates didn't sound right as they carved the ice, so Surya made a choice. Her strength. After years of hearing her critics, the noise, not graceful enough, you skate in straight lines, you need to create circles, and worst of all, second place. Surya's heart grew stronger. She refused to quit. She fought back the only way she knew she could. She practiced more. And she decided to learn to skate like they said she should. Her powerful jumps remained, but with softer glides that whispered across the ice, silent and barely heard. With a promise in her heart to do what it would take to make her dream come true, to become the next champion of the world, and now there would be no more excuses. The judges couldn't complain about her skating not being artistic, not full of grace. She would skate quietly strong the next time she entered the world stage. Her moment. 1994 Japan World Championships. With her hopeful heart more than ready this time to become the #1 figure skater in the world. She started with a double axel, then triple, triple, triple. Her skates did whisper across the ice, and her body floated with grace. Her spins tight, her spins fast, her turns rounded circles. Surya skated the most magnificent routine of her life. 4.5 minutes of pure grace and great power on ice. The scores? Tie. Between Surya and the skater from Japan, the judges would vote to decide second place. The judges voted 4-5 in favor of Surya being second place. She did not win again. The announcer called out the winner's name first. She skated out to the cheers of her home country. The announcer called out Surya's name second, and the crowd waited and waited. The world waited, and reluctantly she arrives. Surya skated onto the white ice, her heart frozen. She raised her arms to the cheering crowd. She skated to the first place skater. Surya honored her, kissing her cheek and smiling. She skated to the podium, meant for second place, and then Surya arrived, but refused to stand on the second place podium. The official presented the first place skater with the gold medal. The official looked towards Surya. He hesitated and hesitated. He motioned for Surya to step upon the podium. Surya resisted. She stood her place. He stepped towards her. He placed the silver medal around her neck. He shook her hand and then pulled her up, forcing her up onto the podium. Surya stood. She knew she did not belong on the second place podium, not this day, and not with her broken heart. She pulled the silver medal off her neck. The crowd gasped. But freedom raised Surya's chin a little higher. She held the medal and ribbon at her side, tangled in her hand like her emotions. Surya's eyes filled with the heaviness of her missing first place finish. Tears streamed down, and Surya gracefully wiped the tears from her face. Surya knew she was not second place. Surya Bonale was not second place. Right or wrong, wrong or right. Her emboldened heart would not honor the judge's decision to again label her second place. The crowd of reporters were waiting. Their words echoed and ringing in Surya's ear. Why? Surya, why? Are they unfair to you, Surya? Surya, why did you not accept the medal? What was the problem? Surya's answers were not in her words. They could only be found in her tears. At the moment each one finally landed on the frozen white ice and became nothing. There was where no one was looking. 1995, England. World Championships again. Determined again, hopeful again, but second place again. Her fearless heart. 1998, Nango, Japan. The Olympics. Surya's Achilles, injured, her heart fearless again. Surya wanted to skate among the best one last time. Surya struck a pose, and then she took off. Triple toe, triple half loop, triple set, and Surya stumbled and fell. Surya got up, full of grace. She kept skating, persisting with speed, beauty, and heart, fearless, determined herself to show that she could land that triple Salchow. Surya raced into it, spinning and soaring into triple Salchow, proving to everyone that she can land it. And Surya fought through the pain. Her skating continued, determined. Deep inside, her heart spoke to her. I need to do this. She spun to her left, skating backwards, clenched her fist, lifted her arms to the sky. Surya leaned forward, bending her leg, threw her arms behind her, and catapulted her body upside down into the air, almost magically. Her legs backward and forward into a split position. She spun around and landed on just one skate. Surya continued skating backward on just one skate. Smiling, Surya's smile shined, and the crowd gasped and then erupted, cheering loudly and they kept cheering and cheering. Surya finished skating, pleasing her fans first. She faced the roaring crowd. With her back to the judges, Surya knew by accomplishing this historic backflip, landing on just one skate, she had stayed true to herself, to her heart, her fearless heart, her trademark. A move no one had ever accomplished, not then, not since. Her first place finish, unstoppable, unrepeatable. And Surya whispered in her soul as she turned to face the judges, "They will never forget me now." I'll read just a little bit more about Surya Bonale here from the back. It says, after her historic backflip on one skate at the Olympics in 1998, Surya Bonale retired from competitive amateur skating and went on to have an active professional career skating with freedom, athleticism, and grace in various ice shows and events. Finally, without the intense judging and regulation of competitive skating, Surya could perform flips in combination to her heart's content and to the contentment of her enraptured audience. Today, Surya works as a skating coach in Minnesota. She passes on her passionate love of skating and her fearless spirit to her students, who continue to inspire her in turn. Alongside coaching, Surya is an active philanthropist, activist, and public speaker. And then a few fun facts. Many of Surya's colorful, iconic outfits were actually made by her mother, Suzanne. I thought that was awesome. The name Surya is Sanskrit for sun. And Surya is the first and only skater to land a backflip on one skate, and she's known as the combination queen. She was the first female skater to attempt many combinations, most deemed too difficult or too risky. So that is Fearless Heart, an illustrated biography of Surya Bonale. And what I thought was cool was, did you know that picture books are not the only biographies that can be told in verse? So I was looking back on my Goodreads and I was like, oh, I've actually read a few biographies in verse. So I just wanted to shout out these two real quick. I'm not going to talk too much about them, but if biographies are your thing and you want to try something different in a different format, these two are really awesome. This one's called This Promise of Change, One Girl's Story in the Fight for School Equality, by Joanne Allen Boyce and Debbie Levy. And Joanne Allen Boyce was actually one of the Clinton 12, so basically the first school to be integrated in the United States. So this one's really awesome. And then we've got Star Child, a biographical constellation of Octavia Estelle Butler. And this one's by E.B. Zaboy, and E.B. Zaboy is just an amazing YA author. She's written such fantastic books, and this is a biography about Octavia Butler, and I love it because she really plays with style, makes the poems look really cool, and yeah, just really honors Octavia Butler really, really well in my opinion. But the one I wanted to tell you a little bit more in depth about is called On the Horizon by Lois Lowry. Does that name sound familiar? So Lois Lowry is the author of Number the Stars and a number of other really fantastic kids books that you probably recognize the names of. But this is, I don't actually know if it's her first nonfiction book she's ever written, but it is so unique. It is a nonfiction book in verse with biographical elements and also about World War II. So did you know that Lois Lowry was 3 years old and living in Hawaii when Pearl Harbor was bombed? Her dad was in the military, and so she actually has a video of her on the beach with the USS Arizona in the back. Yeah, that's it. Yep, USS Arizona in the background, days before Pearl Harbor happened. So obviously she doesn't remember Pearl Harbor. She was only 3. But then, so part 1 of this book is about Pearl Harbor and, you know, the history of that. And then part 2 is about Hiroshima and the bombing in Japan that ended World War II. And then part 3 is about how when Lois Lowry was, I think, 10 or 11 years old, her dad moved them to Japan. So she kind of got this like firsthand experience as a child seeing what the aftermaths of the war was like in Japan. So it is truly, I can hardly say enough good things about this book. And on top of it, look at how short it is. All that stuff I just told you about, she fits it into this, and it has illustrations too. It's all like in verse. So I always tell kids that, you know, a book in verse is going to be good because when you see how few words there are on a page, you know that the author is going to like really think about every word they put on the page. So they're really going to pack a punch. So if you want to try something different, do a little historical and a little bit of biography and in a different format in verse, I highly recommend On the Horizon, World War II Reflections by Lois Lowry. I wanted to read another poem out of No More Poems. So let's pick one of those. It's called My Manners. I drink my soda pop and burp. My manners are a mess. I never say yes ma'am or sir. I say uh-huh or yes. When someone asks would I want something, I don't think that I would. I never say no thank you. Instead I say I'm good. But am I? Really? Am I good? In some ways, sure, I guess. But one thing's undeniable, my manners are a mess. Now I have a new book for you. It just came out a few months ago. It's called Climbing the Volcano, A Journey in Haiku. And so this is a picture book, all told in haikus, and I read the back as I was getting ready for this, and I learned that we are all kind of incorrectly taught that haikus have to be 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. Like, it's an easy way to teach it and to remember it, but apparently according to this book, most poets would tend to argue that, you know, you don't have to adhere to that 5-7-5 rule because of translations might not have the same number of syllables and stuff like that. So basically the idea is that it's supposed to have like less syllables, more syllables, less syllables. So you might catch that and you might be like, oh wait, that wasn't 5-7-5. It's okay, I promise. All right, so we got some haikus to share with you. Here we go. Dormant volcano, but at sunrise each day, it blazes. Clear morning sky, the campground cloudy with our breath. A chill in the air, mosquitoes looking for a hot drink. How do you climb a mountain? One step at a time. Dusty trail, too many footprints to count, but I add my own. A perfect blue above the treetops, tripping over roots. Rushing stream, I ask to take the steeper trail. How to stay warm in the forest shade, swat mosquitoes. Something ahead, I crouch down and smile at tiny toads. Gray lava domes, even the youngest rocks are old. Not in a hurry, we step aside so others can pass. Out of the forest, a cold wind makes us smile. No mosquitoes. Melting drifts, layers tell the stories of winter storms. Lost, the trail is under the snow, somewhere. Is this the trail? A line of paw prints from a bobcat. Resting at the lake, the mountain shivers in the breeze. Ooh, these pages are sticking together. Pumice desert, crunching footsteps drown out my thoughts. White snowfield, so beautiful, my eyes scrunch shut. Up the slope, one slow step at a time, forget the mountain. Sunny boulder, a marmot relaxes while I trudge past. Hikers going up, meet hikers coming down, each with a dog. Lunchtime, hawk floats on a thermal, looking for prey. Feeling small, boulders as big as buildings. Trail mix, peanuts, almond, chocolate, scattered in the dirt. Feeling big, trees at tree line are no taller than me. I look down on soaring ravens, every feather visible. Resting our wings, a butterfly on one rock, me on another. Psst. Higher than the last time, I open my water. Trail marker, adding a pebble to the pile to catch my breath. Scene of a terrible battle, melting snowflakes. Branching trails, I choose the one with 3 butterflies. Up here in the sky, what everyone talks about is butterflies. Cinders underfoot, the red I saw blazing at dawn. All the way at the top. Almost. Trail not as steep. I think we're almost there. I made it to the summit, jumping even higher. Tiny pond, like a great blue eye, the state's highest lake. Even here, floating on the updraft, butterflies. In the crater, strangers throwing snowballs. Direct hit, glacier snow melting down my face. The world looking like a big map of the world. The glint of cars from where we camped, not even specks. It's late and the wind is colder. Time to leave. Heading down, so much easier than climbing up. Tree line, small bits of shade from gnarled pines. Sliding fast down the snowfield that I slogged up. Resting at the lake, was I all the way up there? Whoo! There's a little owl right up there. Just like us. We're sorry we woke you up. We're back where we started. Mosquitoes. Ugh. And standing at dinner, my legs just won't keep still. Trying to sleep. What mountain will I climb next? And that is the end. This does have a lot of really good back matter about the mountain that they climbed and what to bring when climbing a mountain. All sorts of information about the wildlife that you can see in this book. It's a very, very beautiful book. I really like it. So that was Climbing the Volcano, A Journey in Haiku by Curtis Manley and pictures by Jennifer K. Mann. All right, let's do one final poem from No More Poems to finish it off. I like this. this one. This one is dedicated to all the weirdos. Weirdos of the world, unite. Weirdos of the world, unite. Stand up and rejoice. Sing your happy weirdo song. Use your big kid voice. I'm a total weirdo. I like doing math. I like reading mysteries while I'm in the bath. Sister, she's a weirdo. Wears different colored socks. Grandma, she's a weirdo. She has 7 cuckoo clocks. Daddy's such a weirdo that he likes black licorice. Mommy's such a weirdo. She's not even ticklish. My doctor, she's a weirdo. Always dressed up all in white. My teacher is a weirdo. He plays saxophone at night. The guy who drives my school bus is particularly weird. The older kids say he has a bird's nest in his beard. My babysitter keeps a penny hidden in her shoe. Her boyfriend still reads comic books. They're both weirdos too. You know who else is weird? Is the librarian from school. I saw her do a backflip at the local swimming pool. The mayor's unicycle, the crossing guard's kazoo, suggest that they might both, in fact, be secret weirdos too. I thought we were outnumbered. One thing's becoming clear though. Every single one of us, it turns out, is a weirdo. And that is the end. There are so many good poems in here. Again, this is No More Poems. Highly recommend by Rhett Miller and Dan Santet. So that is about all I have for you today. Thanks for tuning in to Lunchtime Listens, Storytime for Adults on our Twitch channel. So tune back in next week for more Genji, and I will see you sometime next month, I'm sure. Thanks, bye.